Welcome to the California Art Club's 110th Annual Gold Medal Exhibition.
Let's go inside.
Here we go. After you. Well, here we are at the opening of the California Art Club 110th Annual Gold Medal Exhibition, and we're just entering the gallery for the first time. What sculpture is this that we're coming in contact with at first?
This A Girl from Napoli by Ishmael Ordaz, or he goes by Ish. I love her classical features.
And it's wonderful how she overlooks this whole hall of all the work here.
So she's the beginning of our exhibition.
She's the very beginning, that's right. And then we come to this incredible pastel by Kim Lordier. And what's the name of this painting?
Memories of a Painted Horse. And she talks about during this COVID year, last year, that she wanted to reflect back to her childhood and what made her happy. And she thought about the horse. And it's, I think, very sensitive and loving.
Yeah, beautiful. Brian Blood, these are the sand dunes up around Carmel area. Goes very well with the Kim Lordier painting.
I love this bit of light right here on this sand dune here, and these subtle waves coming in. It has a very three-dimensional
He's really become
effect.
known for painting this type of scenery with the sand and the ice plant and whatever's growing there.
Well, he lives around that
he
area,
sure
so
does.
he certainly understands that.
And speaking about living around that area, Mark Farina, this is a painting from Point Lobos. And he lives up there, as does Jesse Powell, this little piece down here. I'm not sure if you're able to get close-ups to all these pieces, but they really are nice. And of course, Jim McVicker here, and that's a very rural
And that's
scene.
around his hometown area.
By the way, before we go any further, I want to show you something that we have a beautiful sightline for, and that is the Charles Munch painting way down here of Half Dome in Yosemite during a snowstorm.
That gorgeous light with that cool snow, the cold
afternoon
snow
light,
and warm light.
Alpine glow, really incredible. Oh, let's look over here. This is a Bill Cohn painting.
I love
this
that.
painting of a
Turkey.
wild turkey. Again, another pastel. We have incredible pastel artists in this exhibition. Do you see this one here?
Well, also, this is another example of an artist talking about during COVID time. He said he saw a lot of turkeys strolling
I didn't
around.
know that. That's
yes.
really interesting. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, it's got personality.
It sure does. I love the greens in that, yeah. Well, there's so many great paintings here. Let's walk through
And
very
sculptures.
quickly. Anything you want to point out? I could talk about them forever. Love these two paintings here. One is Dan Schultz down on the bottom. And who painted this painting on the top?
Thomas Kitts.
That's
of
a
the
really nice
Palm.
painting of the Palm Springs area. It looks-
Atmospheric.
Yeah, beautifully atmospheric. That's great. And Deborah Hughes painting of sailboats here
Well, now she's a local girl here, and so this is her
from
subject.
Newport Harbor.
Right,
Yeah.
this is her subject, and it's got, the reflections are just gorgeous in the water.
Yeah. And William Schneider up there, that wonderful figure work. And then down below, we have a tour de force painting by Lisa.
Mosini McDill. I love
Glad
this
you
painting.
said that, yes.
This, with just very few minor brush strokes, you really get a sense of this fascinating moment of urban life and how she directs our eye in this way with the clouds and this bridge. It's just, it has such movement.
Well, because of the construction, it has real strength to it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. It's great.
This,
Wait, before we go any further, let's point out this painting at Terminal Station in New York. The
Grand
train
Central Station,
And that's
right.
done by
Bruce Horn.
Bruce Horn.
I love this painting because right now everybody wants to get out and travel. And
Yeah.
this just shows you a slice of life of people getting ready to go someplace, but it's in this wonderful Beaux-Arts building.
And I think that painting is going on the cover of our newsletter. Maybe I
That's
shouldn't
right.
say that because the newsletter hasn't come out yet.
It's coming out
But it's
soon.
coming out soon. This is one of my favorite paintings. It's done by Kathleen Hudson.
Called Light Breaking Through, and it really does feel like that. The
I love the foam on the waves right here. It really looks like foam and really a great sense of light in
Well,
this
also,
piece.
I think that you have the crashing waves coming to these harsh rocks, but over here it's very peaceful. The light coming through and covering with peace.
Well, speaking about peaceful, Robin Purcell, this little watercolor, just love that. She's such a dear person. I can see that in her work. Very sensitive and very colorful and very uplifting work. And
Well,
Mark Feldman down below, the wonderful wave painting there too.
I was gonna say with Robin's work, it's fascinating to see each artist sees things differently
Yeah.
and how they interpret it, and she simplifies with shapes and patterns, and it makes it interesting to the eye. And this has a lot of dynamic colors in it, Mark Feldman's.
Yeah. Well, let's go into this next room over here. Oh,
Oh, I love this piece.
this is great. This is
by
wonderful.
Brittany Ryan, this wonderful seahorse. Look at she loves to connect with our childhood. And here's a grown man looking very cool. And here he is with his seahorse. What do you call this, an inner tube?
Actually, he doesn't look cool. He looks kind of nerdy, but that's part of the charm. It's great. But she gets these wonderful models that speak to us all, and we can relate to.
It's a wonderful composition too.
Yeah, and great sculpture too. Great sculpture. Yeah, John Cosby over here. Can you get that? That's. I love the blues in this. And the transition here from the light green to the blues to the violets and
Well,
just an
gorgeous
incredible
colors.
piece. Isn't it wonderful?
Gorgeous,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, that's a master in plein air painting, that's for sure.
Now, we could talk about every one of these paintings. I wish we had time to do that, but we don't, unfortunately.
Well, I think there's so many interesting pieces. This Dakota Pitts of the fish cleaning, with the seagulls here, the seagulls are very excited because there are fish nearby, but these people are preparing to clean the fish and maybe cook it soon. And then we have John Asaro with this Corona. He's got this live catch and his bottles of Corona beer. And this
One of my favorites, this one.
Sally
here,
Strand. I love this.
A young man dreaming and in the sun and just perfect sort of summertime painting.
And the clouds give you this very tranquil feel, dreamy feel too.
It's just
Very
great.
relaxing.
Uh,
Oh, how about Delanier Almeida is interesting in his patterning too about agriculture, California agriculture. And he does it, I think of it as an American quilt.
I love this piece here.
Yes, Doreen Wassim.
Yeah, she's great. She's from Pakistan. And
Well,
this
she
looks,
also was saying how she was reflecting on, during COVID time, her hometown and life back at home.
oh, yeah. What's the name of this painting? It's
Meet and Greet.
But meat is spelled
M-E-A-T.
M-E-A-T. Yeah. So this is a meat hanging there. And of course, that's a rural
that
scene
is
that you
life-
might see in
life there.
Pakistan.
And the
Yeah.
people gathering, and this is their slice of life.
Yeah, beautiful. That's great. Well, shall we continue into the other room? Oh, let me show you this one quick. This is one of my favorites, Kevin Short. Wonderful artist, loved doing beach
He's a
scenes. and
surfer
loves to
artist.
surfing scenes, yeah.
So this is called Black Shark. And this
Of course,
is
he's got a full wetsuit on, so you know it's probably a cold day when he's out there surfing.
you know what? But he is a known character.
Oh, he is?
This surfer.
I didn't know
And
that.
that's the name he goes by.
Ah,
So he is a local surfer.
Oh.
And I love this Tony Peters too. Shanghai Cafe noodles. I just love this. It's just, I don't know, something very nostalgic and endearing.
Yeah, he's a wonderful
So
artist.
many gorgeous works.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry if we're not mentioning
Oh.
your painting, because there are so many great paintings
And
here.
sculptures.
We could spend a lot of time mentioning. The Ray Robert, this is Dino's sculpture
Oh
here.
yeah, Dina Mahaffey. This is called Spur Check. This cowboy is just checking his spur, but it gave Dino an opportunity to make a really interesting composition.
With the mailbox here, that's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yes.
He's leaning on the mailbox, checking out his spurs.
And I like him near this Ray Roberts painting.
Yeah, the
because-
poppy fields here
Yes,
by Ray Roberts.
yeah,
It's
very
beautiful. Yeah,
classic
yeah.
California scene by a classic plein air artist.
Yeah. It's great. Well, we
So
have beautiful figure work
beautiful.
here, and then I particularly like this painting by Mark Farina of the Monterey Bay. And these cypress or juniper trees, I love the way they sort of point into the boats. And the beautiful transitions of blues in this, I think, is absolutely stunning. Of course, next to that's John Budison, and then next to John Budison is Clark Mitchell, another pastelist. I don't know if we can get over here.
We have, this year, we have quite a few pastel
We
artists.
have a lot of great
It's
pastelists.
incredible.
It's really wonderful.
And we
Clark's
have
just a wonderful pastel artist.
We have watercolorists and I mean, all mediums. Yeah, and this
Yeah,
Bela Bocci sculpture is very interesting called Shell of the Gods. And he explains that this is a Hellenistic marble, inspired by Hellenistic marble. And he talked about how the vessel was used by temple priests. They would pour their ritual libations, probably in here, and
Really?
then
I
drink
didn't
it
know
from
that.
this end. So that's really interesting. But how
And
about
then,
this?
how about Andy
Oh,
Evenson?
yeah. Andy
Oh,
Evenson,
gee, if you could see this
watercolor.
up close and see the texture of this wonderful watercolor, and this is in China, isn't it? It's a Chinese scene. It's been to China a number of times with some of our other artists and on trips. It's just a wonderful, wonderful watercolor. It's a wonderful painter.
It's very mysterious and,
Yeah. And then
Yes.
Bill Stout over here.
yes.
And what is that? Is that of the
This is
Jurassic
called
age or?
Triassic Antarctica.
Triassic.
And you know, of course, Bill is a great paleontological artist and several other sorts of work genre that he does.
Sure
But he
is.
does his research and he certainly
He
knows
does.
about
He
the,
does. He's done murals down at the San Diego Natural History Museum.
he knows about the
Probably the
animal.
Jurassic and Triassic eras too. And Nancy Crookson, look at this long painting of in
This
San
is
Francisco.
interesting dynamics.
I love that.
Inner City Blues. And it's about this young woman here. And this is her slice of life. And it's about her. And in this Oceana Rain Stewart sculpture, the woman from the mountain. So, very interesting and really gorgeous composition.
Shall we go back to this wall over here real quickly?
Let's do that.
And, well, I mean, everything on this wall is wonderful. But let's talk about Tim Horn here. This is a painting that you could say is contre-jour, against the light, wonderful sort of rural scene.
Created on plein air.
Probably, I love this truck, this old, is that a Ford or Chevy? I think it's a Chevy.
Ford, I think.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
Now we're
we'll
in
have to have
trouble.
someone
Well,
correct us.
but-
But it is about this truck. This painting is about that truck.
Well, it's about the light too.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful feeling of light, a late atmospheric afternoon, and just great.
And you get the idea of the light coming in from behind, creating these long shadows. And Tim takes the opportunity to create the composition of the shadows here. Makes the painting even more
Danny
interesting.
Griego painting
yeah,
too.
that's
A
wonderful.
lovely little piece. It's just exquisite.
It seems like a very large piece, but it is a small piece. And it's called Brickyard Dog. And there is a little dog
Oh, I
right
didn't know that.
here.
Oh.
Is that
I should
wonderful?
put my glasses on. Yeah, it's great, beautiful.
Is there anything else?
Well,
we
let's
should-
go over here
All
real
right.
quickly if we can. And this wall, I just want to point out,
The
well,
neon sea to me.
let's say about the Camille Prismatic here. That's a lovely little
Beach
painting.
Babe Vernazza. I do like
Beach Babe,
that.
what was it called?
Beach Babe Vernazza. Don't know if Vernazza is studies of Vernazza, Italy. It's a place I don't know in Italy. But a charming slice of life. But look at these gorgeous colors here in the sunlight.
Yeah, I love it. I love this. It has a very Monet
Yeah,
feeling
Susan
to it.
Sarbach, Morning Fisherman. Isn't that wonderful?
But look at this me and situ
Oh,
painting.
yeah, I
This
love
is done in
this.
southern China. And he's rendered these boats so magnificently. They're just so well done. And I love these little waves here. You can tell it's a windy day just by the chop in the water.
To
Really
me,
quite
this,
well done.
I mean, these wonderful old boats, he calls it old fishing boats in Lushan, China. But it just, to me, it's like an adventure, that you're going off somewhere, you don't know what you're going to see or what is going to happen, but it just feels very exotic and exciting.
So it's low tide here, and these boats are beached now. They'd probably be in the higher tide, it'd probably be up higher.
Oh, beautiful skill in that.
Yeah,
So,
wonderful.
and then down this, we have this lovely Andrea
Andre
Mosley.
Isn't that great?
I love this.
This is gold leaf in the background here, too.
Well, she's
That's-
titled as Garden of Eden, and this is Eve after the sin, and
After she's eaten the forbidden fruit.
after she's eaten the forbidden fruit, which she wasn't supposed to, and I think she's like in this gilded forest, is how I see
All
this.
right, and she's covering herself.
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't
That's
it?
great. That's lovely. Is this an Adamatano sculpture?
No, this sculpture is by Mick Dollinger.
Oh,
We know
yes,
Mick,
he's from
our
Texas.
French. Isn't this wonderful? It's called Closing In. It's a cougar, but look at the pouncing feel, that it's just getting ready to make a pounce. But look at the muscles in this piece.
You know, he studied his anatomy. He was actually a butcher at one time.
That's right.
And learned a lot of animal anatomy from his early days. But one of my favorite sculptors alive today.
We have great sculptors in the California Art Club, by the way.
And we've got a lot of wild animals in the show too, including this Paul
The
Crowder
Paul
painting
Crowder.
here.
And this is another story about COVID time and what artists were doing. And Paul started collecting these metal signs. And this is an actual stop sign that he got. But he's also interested in wildlife preservation.
Preservation in Africa particularly. And so all the money that he sells these works for goes towards the wildlife preservation. And so, of course, the rhinos
Obviously,
are
there's a
endangered
message, right?
species,
The rhinos
yeah.
are endangered. So I thought that was really
Now, I know this
creative.
is one of your favorite paintings.
I love this piece. Yeah, this one, Joe Milazzo, called Reflections. And to me, the cowboy is this iconic image of independence. And so he's out here alone with his horse. And then there's this reflection, and he's in black and white here, and his reflection is in color, or does it go the other way around?
Yeah.
And also I once heard that do we dream in black and white,
Or
or
in
do
color.
we dream in color? So I
Right.
thought that had that sort of a
It
dreamy
does.
concept.
Do you know, while you go and we talk about this wall, because this is an incredible wall. By the way, there's Adam. Oh, I love this.
Oh, this Adam Montano
But
called
above that is the
Odyssey.
Ken Goldman.
Yes.
Beautiful birds up there. I'm going to go get my glasses.
Okay.
So you carry on. I'll
All
get my
right.
glasses.
Studies from Columbia, won bird studies while he was traveling through Columbia, and he made it into a fine work of art. And it has so much character. I love it. And then this one, Adam Montano, it's called Odyssey. And it's a sweet little piece, but look at this character here, his face and the composition, the way he's just, you could have a conversation with this guy. He's wonderful. And Marilyn Ware, this sweet bird, Amanda Fish, I love this still life. And then this wonderful Mary Kay West.
But this is Emily Lee.
Oh, this is Emily Lee,
Emily
the
Lee.
oranges above Montecito. And of course, we Southern Californians love our
And
oranges.
it almost looks like a trompe l'oeil with the
Yeah.
oranges there.
Pick an orange.
Right, and it goes very well with the
Mary Kay West, who's our trompe l'oeil artist. Do you see this little bluebird here has become very at home among all this natural, in somebody's home among their natural produce.
Yeah, her
It's
paintings
charming.
are always so
I know,
lovely.
I could put something on this ledge right here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Love the bird.
Okay, let's continue on here. Or maybe we can show this one very quickly, the Lynn Christopher sculpture here.
Oh, yeah. I think of this, it's called The Guardian. And I think of him as a Huck Finn character. And he's extended his branch to help the little birdies have a place to perch, and also on his crown. So he's one with nature.
Yeah, great
He's
anatomy in this.
preserving
I love how
nature.
he's made the jeans shortened up.
The cuffs, yeah.
Almost like you'd see in Louisiana or on the bayou or
Feels like
someplace, yeah.
huffed in that way. Mark
Mark Adams, another Adams. Yeah.
Mark Edwards Adams. What a
Great.
great character on this horse. And he's just, it's called Renegade.
Yeah. And of course, we've got next to that, we've got Alexi Steele of the Sierras. And I tell you, one of my favorite paintings, I love this painting
Well,
by
what I want to
Alexi.
say about this, every one of us, I don't know, there's something innate in us that we always want to climb to the top. And here, what he did was just focus on the top, just be at the top. But it's beautiful. It's about the sunrise. There's just so many subtle nuances.
We're talking about the sunlight, the last rays of the sunlight. This Dennis Doheny is a tour de force painting. I've never seen a painting like this by Dennis, where he's concentrated so much on the light. It's so poetic and so beautiful, really.
It's called Afterglow.
Afterglow, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has that feeling. Like we were reading about aspen glow, right? It has,
Do we know where this is? Is this in
I
Goleta or up north of Santa Barbara, or is this
looks
Carmel
like somewhere
area?
in that area.
Oh.
It's beautiful.
It's great. It's wonderful, yeah.
We continue down.
Oh, maybe we could get a shot way off on the distance and see the Calvin Liang painting. I don't know if that's too far away, but that's a wonderful painting to see from a distance too. Calvin
We'll get
Liang.
up
We'll get
closer
there.
to
Okay,
it.
Good.
And what would you like to point out next then? Should we continue down?
Yeah, let's
this
continue
way?
down this one.
And Simon Locke, wonderful scene in the Sierra. He's been painting the Sierra quite
Well, he usually
frequently.
goes up around Big Pine area.
But it's that fresh snow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
I-
everything new and fresh.
It's wonderful.
I like
And Derek Harrison, who comes from the Santa Barbara area. This is lovely.
Mm-hmm. It's
These
called
two
coyote
figures.
bush, but to me, it's all about natural fibers and being
Mm-hmm.
with nature and being one with nature. This lovely couple here, you could see the fibers, the natural fibers in their clothing. But I love this bit of light haloing around the trees here. It's a very nice touch.
Yeah, Jeff Sewell
Mm-hmm.
here, a wonderful Laguna artist, a great painter of waves and the surf. You can tell that he's grown up by the ocean.
I love the sky too.
The sky's great, evening sky. But surf is just how you'd see it, just how the waves break.
Yes.
Incredibly
Yes.
well done, and the foreground is all in shadow, of course. In fact, most of the painting is in shadow, but it makes it intriguing. Oh,
Yeah, great shapes.
talk about shadow paintings, but this is great. This is by Adrian Gottlieb.
It's
And
called Darwin Falls. I think this is a beautiful piece. I mean, she's just taken a bath in this or taken a swim in this pool in nature. But I think of her as a vulnerable creature here. But then you've got all these harsh rocks around her and these walls, and it's just very curious.
Adrian is known as a figure painter, but this really shows the hand of a very good landscape painter.
Landscape,
too.
yes, very
Yeah,
excellent.
it's very, very well done.
Yeah,
Very well done.
excellent.
And of course, Kathleen Dunphy here. And then
Beautiful
this is my
atmosphere.
painting. Oh, Kathleen Dunphy, why don't we say something?
Her
Great sense of light and
atmosphere. She's always spot on with that atmosphere. It's a gorgeous scene, the wild north coast.
You could just feel that haze, that early morning fog coming in or leaving. At
Yeah.
any rate,
And the
it's
cold
great.
water.
Yeah. And this is my painting of Diana of the Hunt. It's actually a sculpture that was commissioned by William Randolph Hearst for Hearst Castle, but I think they already had enough sculpture up there. And so Hubert Eaton bought it for Forest Lawn, one of the founders of Forest Lawn. And it's of Diana, who is the goddess of hunt and also the goddess of the moon, too. She has a little crescent on the top of her head. And those are an entourage of young women that she would go hunting with. And then in the bottom, I put the face of satyrs there. And of course, the frame sort of mimics the sculpture here with the elk's horns here. And
Now, you painted it contre-jour,
yeah,
so
looking against the
backlighting.
light. That's right. Yeah.
And
It's hard to get a feeling of marble, painting marble out of doors. And that's what I really tried to get, that feeling of the light texture of marble, which is a type of limestone.
I love the quality of nature in there,
Yeah.
too.
Shall we go over, let's go down this way, Cameron?
No, we can show the
Now
Calvin Liang.
here.
It's a wonderful, dreamy piece. I love this. You know, the lighting in this is amazing.
Almost seems like a tropical evening, doesn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
And that last bit of light hitting those palm trees there, I think it's in Laguna, with the moon rising and the sun setting, tour de force.
And
Jason C2 here.
Oh,
Very
yes.
nice thing. I love this
Jason's-
little piece here of the surf.
that's by Catherine Fasciato. Yeah,
Fasciato, yeah.
Tribal dance. She's
Yeah, really studying those wave foam patterns, and that's great. Oh, look at this. Speak about wave foam patterns. Over here, this one by Kathy Cadjo here.
Kathy Cudjoe, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And this is on pastel. This is
Yeah,
done by
that's pastel too.
It's quite
And this is
large.
in Malibu. This is by Leo Carrillo Beach, and this big point out here is well known. And these are cormorants up here at the very top.
Well, the
And of course, this
painting, the
woman is standing
painting
on the cliff with
is about freedom and liberty, and then the shawl takes on this feeling almost like a bird ready
and
to
up
take
there, the
flight.
surf gets really big and strong, and there's a lot of wind, and so you see this offshore spray on the waves and the foaming out. And this is one of my favorite paintings in the whole show. It's a darling little painting, and it's
Glenn Maxion.
by
Glenn Maxion.
by Glenn, and it's of a little girl, and she's I just love her stomach.
Well, it's called Beach Belly,
Beach Belly, yeah.
and
Isn't
it's
it cute?
pastel again.
It's adorable. Yeah, just wonderful. Really great.
Should we go back
Okay,
this
let's
way?
go this way. This is Brian Belfield, and I don't think I've met Brian, but I know his work. We've been good friends on Facebook and Instagram, and I've loved his work. A wonderful plein air painter, lives down in the Oceanside, San Diego area. And this is at Cabrillo National Monument. And of course, these are some of the tide pools. The cliffs there are wonderful. We painted down there with Eric Rhodes a number of years ago when the convention, plein air convention was
Has
down.
amazing colors
It
and
was down in San Diego.
I love his choppy brushwork. Makes it very vibrating.
Gregory Hull, one of our top landscape painters, lives in Arizona in the Flagstaff area.
This is called
always-
Windswept, and you really do feel
Yeah,
that
you
the
can see these
age
trees are very windswept. This is up around the
Over
Carmel
the
area, I
years.
believe. And
has a tonal feel too. It's lovely.
Albert
Oh,
Handel,
yes,
what-
and
another
this is-
pastelist.
He's a pastelist, but this is actually oil on linen, which is,
Oh.
I have not seen him do oil, but of course he can handle
he's done
any.
a lot of oil. I
He
think he
can,
did
oh
oil
yes?
last
Well,
year,
he can
yeah.
handle any medium. This is called Emerald Falls, but again, these fabulous big strokes and, really strong.
and Michael
design.
C2 here.
Yeah.
This is,
With the mustard fields.
yeah, that's
Springtime
wonderful,
and
very strong. It
Virginia.
looks like it's a Malibu area too. Could
And
very
here's
well be.
another pastel by Joan Mancuso. I love the cool colors in the snow.
Isn't that right, those blues and that snow? Oh,
Yes.
Really, really wonderful. We're not done yet. We're still
Come
going and
follow
strong.
us. Almost done. I like this little fragment by Brittany Ryan too, and it's wonderful to see hanging sculpture. It's called Miss Independent Fragment, and she's got this attitude to her that's very strong and compelling.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
These are beautiful too. Anthony Salvo, Rusty Vintage
He's head
International,
of our
one of our co-chairs.
co-chair of the Orange County chapter of the
That's
California Art Club, along with Wendy Worth.
That's
And
right.
we didn't point out her painting. Her painting was a beautiful
Beautiful
seascape too.
seascape, yes.
And he loves painting old cars and old trucks
Well, they
and
have
so forth.
personality.
And yeah, so it's wonderful. This is Nikita Budikov, and a Russian artist who's a young artist. And he painted this during the COVID time. So you look, the toilet paper, remember how we always used to hoard toilet
Christmas,
paper?
right.
And a gas mask, and there's another mask there.
Can of beans.
Black beans, yeah, it's just great.
Survival.
It's wonderful, yeah.
And this is his painting called Future Club. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. It's great, though.
It's really,
very
there's a lot
Wonderful.
of dynamic quality in that.
And Ray Hunter down here, watercolorist.
This
And-
was from
and-
his trip to Prague. This is a beggar in Prague, a watercolor scene. Very interesting. Look at a lot of detail.
Warren Chang above that.
Oh, I
and
love that.
Painting people selling flowers, vendors.
Right, right.
And
And we
probably up in
certainly
the
see
northern
that
area.
often.
yeah.
Yes, we can relate.
And look at this, what kind of bird is this, sweetie?
I
That's Adam Matano.
keep thinking, it's a crow, actually, and it's called When All the World Was Green. And here's, the crow has caught this frog here. It's just amazing. The feathers on this feel so real in
He
bronze.
really knows his anatomy. He just really studies the anatomy of all birds and mammals too.
Katusha Diaz.
Diaz, yeah.
And this is called Dust to Dust. And this again is probably a,
Very thought-provoking, isn't it?
it's
wonderful.
intriguing.
It's great.
Yes, absolutely.
Richard Probert, underneath this bridge is an incredible scene, the abstract designs of the shadows. I love it. Richard's one of my favorite friends, and this is a great work of art, too.
Interesting composition, too.
Is this the last piece? I think this is the last piece that we'll show you anyway today. I'm sorry we haven't touched on all of the pieces because all of them we should talk about because they're magnificent. But I've enjoyed going through this very, very quickly. And I know if we went through it again, we'd probably point out other things. But anyway, it's been a real pleasure. And thank you for joining us.
Do come see the exhibition in person. I think you'll get a lot more out of it when you see the works and the textures and the quality by these artists. Thank you so much for being part of this program, and we enjoyed being with you.
Thank you.